everybody, it's Leanne Graff with another video. Each Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central Time is when I'm hosting a new class. So I'm just going to get my laptop synced up and make sure I'm really live and in the right place. And it looks like I am. Okay. All right. We are ready to go. I'm going to adjust this just a little. See if that straightens it up a little. Okay. Make sure my laptop catches up with things. See if some people join me. All right. I was gone last week out of town. Good morning, Lori. Thanks. Hi, Cindy. I was gone last week, so I did not have a live video. And, you know, I was out of town, out of state, and it was a nice break, honestly. I got to see a friend in Oklahoma and went to a conference, and it was a lot of fun. Emotionally wearing, but it was a beautiful break. And yeah, hi Candy, miss you already. Candy was my friend down in Oklahoma, and she took care of me, driving me around and picking me up from the airport. And yeah, couldn't have done it without her. She took off so much stress. Renting a car alone for the first time in my life was interesting. Never done that before. So yeah, a few challenges, but well worth it, and had a good time. So, all right, let's get started. Where to start? There are 3 new kits to go in April. So the first Tuesday of each month, they bring out new kits, and sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3. And I think this one is super fun. I don't think she watches me usually, but I'm going to get one for my daughter for Mother's Day gift. I think she will love that. She created paper flowers. I mean, they were huge. Each flower was maybe this big for her wedding. And so she's into paper crafting in different ways. Lots of different crafts she does. So that'll be a great Mother's Day gift for her. So getting one for myself as well. And then there's a few other kits, and here are the prices. The paper bouquet is $22, Essential Occasions is $13, and Loveliest Wishes, which is really hard to see. But it's kind of white with some pastels, and you can see it better online. But they're less because there's no stamp sets. So yeah, those are the 3 new kits in April. And let's go over the inventory status report. So, yeah, unfortunately, they moved back. The To The Point punch was supposed to be in, I thought it was April. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was always May, but disappointing. I thought it was going to be here in April, but obviously shipping or supply or something didn't turn out that well. So, yeah, those are the things, plus some cardstock, some ink pads, Memento ink and refill, Stays On ink and refill, supposed to be available within the week, by next week, I believe. So those have been gone forever. They must be having a terrible time getting them in stock. But notice this down here. I really want you to pay attention to that, because our cardstock is going up in price by a few dollars per pack. And, you know, it's the mill prices. It's the cost of everything going up. And if you watched me before, I kind of explained that Stampin' Up! Is being charged more to produce their solid core cardstock, and of course they have to pass on those price increases to us. So you don't think it was supposed to be April, Janet? It was always supposed to be May? Okay, it just seems like it was supposed to be close. And now the Bow Punch and a few others are May, and a few designer papers. So yeah, not too bad, but disappointing for those who've been waiting, especially for that To The Point punch. Okay, yeah, so stock up on your cardstock. It's over a couple dollars per pack. So if you always use white, if you always use black, if blues are your thing, or pinks, be sure to put an order in. And while I'm talking about orders and host codes, this is the last week. I think the end of next week, there will be no more host codes for anybody. Stampin' Up! Is eliminating them. They will not be workshop orders. So when I open a host code, that is for a workshop order, and everybody's orders are on one order using that host code, which allows me to buy gems or something to give away. So from now on, after the 14th, actually about the 12th, there will no longer be host codes. So you don't have to worry about host codes. You will be your own hostess. So all orders over $20 will receive host rewards. So you'll get 10% on all your orders. So all those orders, I get a ton of orders, about $40, $50, sometimes $22, sometimes $100, but you'll now get 10% in rewards. And so you can't use those rewards on that order, but you can use them on your next order, and they will be good for a year. So they do not expire for over a year. So when you log in to your account, you have to have an account online in order to redeem your host rewards. So that is, so even if, you don't order online, maybe you send your order to your demonstrator or something, you will not get host rewards unless you create an online account. And once you log in, you can see how much host rewards you use. And when you do use some, they start with the oldest rewards you earned. So you have a year to use each reward that you get. So yeah, host rewards are different. But what's great is that all those orders I got for $20, $50, $100. Right now with the program the way it is, you have to order $150 in order to accrue any host rewards. So now anything over 20 gets host rewards. So it's very exciting for people to earn their own host rewards. So from now on, after this, about another 8 days, whatever. No, it's the 8th. Another just 4 days to earn the host rewards. So I'm not sure what that's going to mean when I do my free gifts for people who I haven't quite worked that out, what I'm going to be offering for orders, but it'll be something. Believe me, it'll be something. So anyway, that is a couple of the news that is coming up. I'm going to share my kits to go. So I have one that I started with a paper pumpkin refill kit, and these are the cards that are in that kit that I kind of changed up and added more to. So hopefully I have them all. Yeah, here's the last one right here. So this is what I call manly cards, or a wood textures, and it's 12 cards, 12 envelopes. I had to add a few white envelopes to their printed ones, but jazzed it up a little bit by adding some twine. You get some linen thread, I guess, and there's punches and layers. And so this is a change from the original paper pumpkin kit, but that is available while supplies last. I think I have 8 left. So of these, and that is on my shop. Now I'm going to go over a few other of my kits this month. I just ordered some of the product. So this one is with the, let's see, Lovely Garden. And I don't think I've shared these yet because I just finished them before I left. And it looks like I'm missing a few. Yeah. So there's two of all of them, but for some reason I don't have them all here right now. So some fun folds. In fact, these are all fun folds. Yeah, these are the same 2 cards. Missing the other one of this one. So this is kind of an interesting fold, right? It folds into a normal size card, but it's just scored a little bit differently. So you get a half a pack of the Lovely Garden designer paper. You get all the punch pieces, some butterflies, some Regal, let's see where those are, Regal dots, and yeah, the butterflies. So everything is pre-cut except your designer paper. So they're all different fun folds. This one's really cool. Really like that one, using the designer paper. You see both sides. And then there's 2 of these too. I don't know where the other one of those went either. I think I'm planning on using them for swaps. I think that's what I set them aside. So I'm using the design. So one thing, when you've created cards that you like, use the same layout, pattern, fun fold, whatever for another card. This is just some squares on a certain scored 11-inch long cardstock. So once you find something you love, you know, recreate it using black and white or kids paper or a different floral or maybe some men's paper. So you can use the layouts that you get or that you create. And that's why I always save. Oopsie, I ruined that butterfly. There we go. So you can, you know, when you make a card, I always say make two, because you can save one, give one away, but save one you like, so that's your pattern. And then put them all in a little box or a crate or something. So yeah, you get some butterflies, half a pack of designer paper, and everything pre-cut. So the next one is one using the timeless plaid designer paper. And I think, and these are a lot of fun folds too, and just fun designs. So I love this one. How fun is that? Just cut a piece of designer paper into quarters diagonally, and then reverse them. So, and then use some of your long little scraps that you cut off. Yeah, thanks, Marla. I do really enjoy using fun folds. So here's another one. This timeless plaid paper, I believe, is retiring. And right now it's on low inventory. So I just grabbed a bunch for my kits. Oh, I just about missed it. Being gone last week, I maybe didn't notice that it was going going fast. So don't quote me on retiring. I'm fairly certain it is, but I haven't checked the retiring and last chance list thoroughly yet to see what's coming and what's leaving. So anyway, those are the kits. Oh, this kit, you will get a share of these faux glass dots that work with a lot of these colors and some linen thread. So that's that kit. So these are all available. I have a kind of a limited number now that I've ordered the products. So reserve your kit here, and they go out at the end of April. So that's what's happening with my kits in April. Now the door prize for today for commenting is these pastel adhesive back sequins. What I love about sequins is that they are so flat. They don't add any height to the cards that you mail, and they add just that little bling. So this is for commenting on today's video. Of course, someone who shares can pick out any free tutorial from my shop. So that is the perks for commenting and sharing on my videos. Now let's see. I think that's it for today. Of course, remember to go shopwithleanne.com and check out all of the retired list. So they announced, I think last April 1st, they put out the retired list, the last chance list, things that are going away, a lot of good deals. So make sure you go to the Stampin' Up! Website. A fast link would be shopwithleanne.com to get there, and search on these specials, last chance list, so you can see everything that that is on sale or discounted or leaving. Okay, now remember the 2023-25 in colors are all going away. They are only available while supplies last. So if you don't have the refills or enough cardstock, be sure you check that out, because I hate to have people miss what they really wanted. Okay, all right, the first card we're going to make, you know how much I've played with this stamp set. I've made so many cards with it for club and for team meeting cards, and so I have one left to share with you that I've been saving. One of my favorites is this one, this bendy card. We made this for my card clubs in March. So simple. This was a couple videos ago, so if you look back on my Facebook page, Flower Bugs Ink Spot, or on my YouTube channel under Leanne Graff, you will see the video for that, and the measurements were given and the free project sheet, I believe, last week. So be sure to check that out. Now this is the card we're going to be making. So this is one of these fun folds. If you haven't made one of those, it starts with a quarter size for the back, and then you have this, which is I believe 11 inch by 4 inches. And you score it every so many inches. And I don't have the measurements, but this project sheet will be available in the, oh, and I bet I did not texture this yet. So hang on for a minute. I'm gonna quick get my Stampin' Cut machine out, and we're gonna texture that with I'll give you a few tips on texturing as well. I could have done this earlier, but this way you see a tip that I love. And that is, if you have the new machine, if you don't, you have the old Big Shot, you can just use your platform and this plate number 4. It makes the 3D embossing folders so easy to use. If you struggle with layers and what you need to do to make this work, I'm using the Dashing Designs, which I love, and it's retiring. I'm so sad. It's just kind of one of those smooth, all even, not busy folder that is just like adds a great texture. So this plate number 4 is perfect for your 3D embossing folders. So this is the Dashing Design. Okay, we'll set that aside. I'm going to be using it later, so that's why it's so handy. All right, let's get my pieces out. Okay, so like I said, the measurements for this will be on the project sheet next week. Let me get my bone folder. And we'll do a little accordion type fold here. Make sure everything's lining up evenly. Okay, so we'll just add some adhesive to this. This is just a quarter sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this one, I'll use this side, is 4 inches by 5 1/4, the standard for card making. Okay, now I did stamp a little bit right in here. So I'm going to start that, and I used Smoky Slate and this little piece right here. So to do that, we're going to stamp opposite, and I want a little bit, oh, you know what, I forgot. Whenever you have a greeting, you always want to do your greeting first, because you, just open this up. You don't want to ever stamp on anything. You always want your surface to be completely flat. Okay, set that aside, close up my black for a moment, and continue. Fold that up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it on this side. Just going to fold that up and add a little bit there, and that should be good for the inside. Okay, so, and that's where you would sign. Now for our pieces of paper. This one is going to go here. Have you seen this fold before? Anybody make one before? It does not stand up. So if you want a card that stands up, this is not it. It does not stand up on its own because it doesn't quite meet the bottom edge, this accordion. So that might put some people off from doing this fold. Just looking at my fold here, making sure I'm putting everything in the correct place and not on the back side. Yeah, I think I'll use this piece. Okay, all right, so now, as you can see, I'm gonna close this up or move it away. You ever find yourself holding the glue lid? Oh, you just made one of these, Janet. That's cool. Thanks for telling me that. Yeah, I end up holding the glue lid while I'm gluing. It's so silly. And then I'm going to center this. And when you have a textured element, I strongly encourage you to use the glue so it holds well. Sometimes tape runner just does not do it. Okay, here's the front design of my card, and we're going to, of course, ink the greeting first, and it's on the angle. Now, if you ever struggle with getting things straight when you're stamping on the angle, that is a problem. It can be quite difficult. Use your grid paper if you have it. I tend to eyeball things, and Luckily, font can make it easier, sometimes harder, but curvy font is much easier, in my opinion. All right, we're going to then stamp some leaves. And do that. And I'm going to just stamp off slightly and do that. So that's it for that. Okay, now we can. Now this card, I should have mentioned that. That is Azure Afternoon. Oh, that really got dirty, didn't it? Let's see if it comes off fairly well. So I used Azure Afternoon to bring in some of the color. You always want to, oh, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. You always want to repeat your colors if you can. If you have two colors, repeat it somehow, whether in gems or ribbon or ink, maybe cardstock or designer paper. It brings your cards together, makes them kind of cohesive. So just sometimes I like to do the corners a little bit more, bring them in a little bit. Okay, done with the inks. All right, bring that back in. I somehow really like making cards on the diagonal. I just think it adds a fun element when things are not quite straight all the time. So yeah, this card is pretty much exactly the same as that one. Now you can decide if you want your points to be even or if you want to center it on this layer. I think that's what I'm going to do, is center it on here. So I'm just going to make a little triangle. And I'm going to put the point on the white edge, and that should make it straight. And then I tied a little bow. This is one of the new ribbons from our online exclusives. It's very fine, kind of, it's white. I don't know what the texture is, but it's really cool that it's kind of not solid, put it that way. Has a little bit of a texture to it. I'll just add that, and then some gems, which I did not bring to the, I must have put those away. Whoops. Put this back on here if it sticks. So yeah, it's missing the gems. I forgot to add that to my box. So isn't that a neat fun fold? And remember, the free project sheet will be available on my blog at flowerbug.net. Next Monday or Tuesday is when I post my projects from the live the week before. Thank you. I know, right? You're holding this glue lid while you're stamping, and exactly, why am I doing that? It's just kind of crazy. Okay, next I have a really neat project that we made at my card clubs in March. I'm thinking, what month am I in? All right, so grabbing the stamp set, I'm going to use the Thankful Garden set and the dies. So these are the dies that match, and they're also a set of stencils. So if you own any stencils, I'm going to give you some tips on using them, some great ideas for accenting color. So that's what we're going to do. Let me grab my cards. So here are the two samples. You can see they're quite different from each other. Can you spy the differences? There's at least, well, besides the flowers, there's 1, 2, 3, I think, 3 differences. So first of all, the gems, that's an easy difference, right? So one of the gems I used is the new, let's see, Starburst Sequins. They have fresh freesia, yellow, and white. And then these are the two-tone sparkle gems, and they're in the online exclusives, and they are stunning. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. So if you haven't gotten these, and look how beautiful it goes with the blue and the fresh freesia. So it's a perfect, and I love balmy blue with fresh freesia. It's so pretty. Okay, so that's, and then the last difference is the mini corrugated folder. I did, actually there's 4 differences. This one I did on the angle, and this one I did straight. But notice the cardstock, the black and white layer here, one is angled and the other one is even. So quite a few differences. A little bit of Wink of Stella on this one. I don't think I did it on this one. So I'm going to make this card today. Okay. All right. But Thankful Garden, it's an online exclusive, and it's just beautiful done with these stencils. So fresh freesia, a little bit of balmy blue, and we're going to set that aside. Let's see. This is the inside. Oh, I didn't show you the inside. So there's one, and there's another. So I gave my gals a choice to make, you know, either a birthday or a sympathy card. But did you notice no greeting on the front? How many of you have done cards without a greeting? Do you always think, I gotta have a greeting on the front, right? We have to have a greeting. That's what cards are about. But no, you do not. Challenge yourself to make a card without a greeting. It can be hard in the beginning to do that. So, you know, and here I go again. I did not texture this. Well, you know, I'm just not going to finish it. I'll just leave that and do it afterwards because I don't want to take more time. This is the inside. So we will start with that. And I'm going to do another thank you because I use a lot of thank yous. So we're just going to stamp thank you. And then I'm going to find that leaf. A lot of stuff. Come on, leaf. There we go. All right. And now this leaf is in the set. That little leaf right there. And I'm using Lemon Lime Twist. And just a few on the edge. I tend to be one of these people who don't like to see the stems. Like there's a stem on my card. So just some falling leaves on the edge to add interest. So we're going to set that aside. And we're going to stamp, that's the inside of the card. Okay. This will go underneath. This is a piece of the Botanical Textures designer paper. That's another online exclusive. Now, this, where'd it go? Didn't I have another piece of white? Yeah, this is it. Oh, I'm confusing myself. All right, we're going to stamp this big flower in black memento. You could use StazOn. I prefer black memento for almost all of my basic black needs because it does not require a special cleaner. It's water-based, so you can get it off very easily. Okay, move that aside. And we're going to start our stenciling. Getting my brushes out. All right, so we will start on your stencils, right on the corners. You will not be able to see this, but where the notches are, they all line up. So if you adhere this to your work surface, just a little bit of a tape runner or something, you can make a notch like that fits. Then I can put a little notch over here where the next stencil will fit exactly. However, I have a different method to do this. So I wrote a note for my gals for what ink goes on which stencil. Okay, so we're going to use some fresh freesia. I'm going to move this so it's a little more convenient for me maybe. And just this one's really easy to match up in both. This is for the hydrangea right here, and this one is for the, some people call it a California poppy. Now I want this to be very light. So very light in color because I'm going to add a lot more. So I tend to start off, oh, that little piece. I tend to start off the paper onto either the surrounding paper or on my stencils, just so, so I don't get a blop. Because immediately when you ink, you can get a blop on your paper. So that's what I want there. So the next one is also purple. And now look at these little green markings. Those match up with the leaves, and that will tell me where I'm at on the stencil. So I just went around some leaves. I put the stencil on, matched it up, and went around with the leaves and matched that up. So I got that tip from Patty Bennett, and so helpful, honestly. So we're just going in the same Fresh Freesia ink, adding some detail. Whoops, don't move. And you could, put a little adhesive on the edge of this if you want, but I find holding it firmly is plenty enough. So there's, I'm going to do a little bit more. It's not quite dark enough yet. So we have some stencils in the last chance list right now that are like almost half price. And I don't remember what the name of the stamp set is. The stamp set and the dies are also reduced. So it's crazy. You can get a beautiful floral stamp set, dies, and stencils at a really big discount. So be sure you check out the last chance list. And I'm matching up these leaves again, and because you really cannot tell where the outline is. I just make sure I'm not beyond the stamped black part of my card. Okay, now I'm going to go in blue. Okay, and this is Balmy Blue, and just add some details. This is the color combo I chose for this card just because I like it, I guess. So there we go. That's that. Now, what I want to share is a really neat tip. I'm going back to stencil number 1, the first one, and I'm bringing this large stencil back, and I'm going to show you something. There's a little piece right here that wants to bend on me after the many 40-some times we use this. Okay, so I'm going off the edge, and I'm only going to go on the edge with this blue, just the edge. I'm mostly on the stencil. I'm not going into the center. I just want to get to the around the edge with some blue. And man, does this ever pull the blue together. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Just love it. Okay, I'm going to close up my blue. And yeah, I don't care about those because I'm going to die cut it with the die. So that does not matter. But I need to do my leaves yet. So now we're going to move into the leaves. And so there's 2 leaves in this die. They're still a little stained, or not stained. They still have some green ink on them because all you do is run these under warm water or any water. And well, that's a great idea, Lori, to use your Stamparatus to hold the paper and stencils in place. Awesome. Strong magnets will do the trick. Yeah, so I'm going to start with the outline. And so yeah, if you were doing this on your Stamparatus, you could hold the paper and the stencil in place. Now, this ink is very, I just re-inked it. So I inked once, and I'm going to just lightly go over here because it is pretty dark. And I'm going for a pastel look. So that's plenty. And now we're going to the detail stencil, just lining it up. Looking at all of the edges, all of the edges, make sure I'm not outside the lines. And depending on your ink, like I said, this one is very vibrant, and I did re-ink it after my classes. So there is the detail. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely love stencils. They make you feel like a true artist, honestly. They really do. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping someday we'll get it something like our Stamparatus back because, yeah, we all love it that have it. And if you don't, you want it and it's not available. So Stampin' Up! Says that they will be bringing one back, something like it back. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of positioning tool to make everything stay in place when you're stamping. So I have a magnet plate from the old Big Shot, and I use that. And so my dies stay in place. And what I do use, so my husband, sometimes your plates get so bowed, right, or bowed or uneven. And my husband has a table saw, and he cuts them in half. And for some reason, they go flat. It's crazy. So if you know of anybody with a table saw that can cut your bowed bowed plates in half, they go flatter than they were before and make extend the use of your plates. If you don't, you can get the mini plates, and those work just as well. So just place those on there. Make sure everything, I always hold my finger on here to make everything stay in place while I'm running it through. And the magic of the die cutting machine, we have a die cut. So we will simply, and I think, it's too bad I don't have that piece textured. I probably used the wrong piece, but that's okay. I can cut another one. So what I did on this card, that keeps moving on me, was I textured that white piece at the angle and put, look at me shake, and put those pieces evenly. This one, I textured it across. Too much angle might have made me a little crazy. And didn't texture this piece, but kind of angled it slightly. So I'm going to do that, I think, on this piece. So we're going to and you can position one, like on your grid paper, one crooked and then one straight. And I tend to look at my edges, and if I'm off a little up here, I want to be off a little down here. Even here, I want to be even there. So I'm going to slide this up just a little bit. And now I know that is well done. So I'm still missing that white piece under there, but look how beautiful that is. And then if you want to, you can add a little bit more bling and simply coat your large parts of the flower with some Wink of Stella. Now, one thing to know about Wink of Stella, there's a little bit of a push thing here that you can push to get more wink. Watch the barrel, and you can push to get more wink in there, but don't push like many times, because it'll just come pouring out and you'll lose a lot. So, and always do that on a scrap, because don't push and then start going right again like I did. Not recommended, but I'm feeling a little bit daring today. So there's my Wink of Stella. It's almost done except for those beautiful gems and of course the textured piece. So I'm going to add some of these because I can do that because I have it fairly well positioned. And I tend to do the 3 thing. I do 2 on one and 1 on the other. Then I would pop this up. So you got the gist by looking at these cards. But aren't they pretty? I absolutely love them. And the stencils just make you feel like you're an artist, as you could see. So that's it for today. So if you just joined me, this is the other card we made, this fun fold. So you may want to rewind and catch that card as well. So, yeah, Thankful Garden online exclusives, which just means it's seen online. So, all right, thanks everybody. I appreciate you joining me, and I will see you again next Tuesday. Remember, if you're going to place an order, get some of that cardstock before it goes up in price. Use my host code, use my link, and you'll get a free gift from me with a qualifying order. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great week, and I hope you stamp something and mail something to a friend or a family member. All right, take care. Okay, bye-bye.